the world's most notorious gun market region.
What am I looking at here?
Wow.
The international arms industry is a multi-billion-dollar concern that keeps expanding year in and year out. However, while many people associate weapons production with big companies with big names, there is a valley in one of the harshest terrains in the world that claims the title of the largest weapons market in the world. What is the origin of this market? What does it look like? And why does it attract so many buyers and sellers? Come as we take you on a shocking tour of the Valley of Arms, the largest deadly legal weapons market on the planet. Not a lot of people have any business to do in Dara Adam Khel. However, the business transactions conducted have a huge impact on the rest of the world. Dara Adam Khel is a fascinating town located in the federally administered tribal areas of Pakistan, bravely surviving in the rugged terrain of the region, dominated by the Pashtun people. The town is actually a marvel. It is located in a valley surrounded on most sides by hills. This town has been significant for ages due to its strategic location. The inhabitants cope with hot summers and cold winters as the weather oscillates between the two extremes. Only hardy vegetation can survive in these harsh conditions. The influence of the natural environment can be seen in the town's architecture. Its houses are made from locally sourced materials with the main goal of surviving the elements. And the town's layout is reminiscent of his history of survival. It was a city built to be defended, for reasons you shall soon see. Traditional customs hold sway in Dara Adam Khel, and visitors will hear the Pashto language commonly spoken on the streets. The proud people preserve their traditional dances and music through generations, with festivals that are a riot of bright colors and sounds. One thing visitors may find interesting is the general hospitality of the people of Dara Adam Khel, despite the hard past it has had. You will find it south of Peshawar and close to the infamous Khyber Pass, the link to Central Asia from the Indian subcontinent. This positioning has forced the town to be a silent witness to the changing fortunes of empires that tried to control it like a pawn in a game of chess. Historians say Dara Adam Khel was started by the Afridi tribe, a tribe usually associated with bravery and resilience. The Afridis are a subgroup of the Pashtun, but they have been in charge of this town for as long as you can imagine, forming a bulwark against savage intruders. The town also grew in prominence for the part it played in the Great Game. The Great Game was the almighty tussle between the British Empire and the Tsars of Russia for the control of Central Asia. The town was the setting for many brutal intrigues and espionage, where the inhabitants and greedy foreign powers formed alliances and betrayed one another. Even in recent times, Dara Adam Khel continues to be racked by instability. It has been battered by Afghan wars, with its strategic location making it very sought after by warring factions. Dara Adam Khel, however, has another terrifying reputation. Its reputation as the Valley of Arms. The origin of the arms market of Dara Adam Khel is tightly connected to its history. You will find many factors at play here, including colonial shenanigans, tribal strife, and the ingenuity of the indigenous population. Let's travel back to the late 1800s, a time when the British Empire had already established its colonial stranglehold on the Indian subcontinent, including the place now known as Pakistan. Imperialism introduced modern weaponry due to the desire to subdue and pacify the fiercely independent spirits of the tribes indigenous to the places referred to as the Northwest Frontier Province, an area that included Dara Adam Khel. The trouble was, the introduction of these advanced fighting implements triggered an insatiable hunger for these dangerous weapons among the local tribes. However, it was simply a matter of time before these weapons would have found their way into Dara Adam Khel. Its location made it an important stopover for numerous armies on their way to battle their enemies. It was also an important point on a strategic trading route. It didn't take long for some of the money-hungry traders in Dar Adam Kel to start dealing in arms. Initially, the trade was limited to foreign soldiers and traders. However, the locals, tempted by the chance to make huge money and seeing for themselves the difference modern weapons made, soon joined in the business. They began to find how to acquire, replicate, and improve these weapons to make the most profit. These local arms dealers soon realized the unique opportunity they had. They were right in the middle of a lucrative local arms sector as tribal conflicts and the need for self-defense generated massive demand for their wares of destruction. All the tribes in the Northwest Frontier Province tried to be armed at all times to be prepared for sudden skirmishes with nearby neighbors and resistance to invasion by external forces, including the expanding British Empire. This constant need for vigilance was just the right ingredient for a local arms market, and the arms dealers of Dar Adam Kel rose to satisfy the gory demand. Meanwhile, after the British Empire consolidated its grip over the land, it became keenly aware of the dangers of allowing a thriving weapons market in the valley of Dar Adam Kel. To prevent the local tribes from arming themselves enough to dislodge them, the British tried to strictly control the flow of weapons in the whole region. However, the preventive measures of the British proved to be no match for the ingenuity of the folks of Dar Adam Kel. Faced with a dwindling supply of formal firearms from the international market, the inhabitants of the Valley of Arms turned inwards. They developed their metalworking skills and craftsmanship, which they had passed down generations through traditional blacksmithing and tool-making. Workshops soon sprang up where artisans used rudimentary forging tools to replicate the few firearms they could lay their hands on. Their output was initially crude, but like anything done repeatedly and with passion, the artisans improved on their work and their weapons soon became very sophisticated as they tried many methods. It wouldn't be long before the weapons produced at Dar Adam Kel gained an international reputation. They were valued for their reliability and efficiency. With access to a market thriving on intertribal conflicts, the arms producers had all the opportunities to hone their arms-making skills. More growth saw the formalization of the weapons market, and orders began to pour in from customers all over the world, attracted by their very low prices. By the turn of the century, Dar Adam Kel had cemented its status as an important trading center of the international arms trade. This growth did what the discovery of gold did to towns. As more buyers trooped down to Dar Adam Kel, on their heels were artisans and craftsmen dying to learn the trade and set up their own businesses. As a result, a unique blend of skills, business knowledge, acumen, and cash injection transformed Dar Adam Kel into a center of learning and innovation in arms manufacturing and merchandising. Today, the market at the Valley of Arms occupies a key position in the social and economic structures of the region. It is a source of employment in a place where other economic opportunities are limited, and this reason alone continues to draw more people to the trade. In addition, the market is a means of social distinction for the craftsmen and traders among the local tribes. The ability to produce and trade in arms is a measure of prestige and influence. What does the Disneyland for gun lovers located in Dar Adam Kel look like? You might never be there physically. In fact, you should stay away. But here is what the 160-years-old market looks like. Bear in mind that about half of the population of this area, of more than 100,000, are directly or indirectly associated with this industry. To have an idea of the size of the trade, estimates say about 7,000 skilled laborers are employed in this market. They include gunsmiths and pro-manufacturers with technical expertise to assemble most types of weapons on demand. All you need to do is supply them with a rough sketch. The factories and shops occupy a 2-kilometer stretch where customers can acquire any weapon from copies of Chinese pistols to facsimiles of the U.S. automatic rifles and Austrian Glock semi-automatic pistols. If you need more power weapons than those on display, A dealer would gladly take you into his basement where he stores anti-personnel mines, submachine guns, anti-aircraft guns, small cannons, and even rocket launchers. The town itself is situated on a highway in the notorious parts of the country where the laws are usually disregarded. So this is more like stepping into no man's land. In its heydays, the police would not dare operate in the area. It is not far from the Afghan border, where many of the customers come from. As you can expect, the air in the market is thick with the smell of gunpowder mixed with machined metal from shops where machinists fashion out gun parts. According to sources in the market, a Chinese imitation of an M16 automatic rifle can cost up to $2,300. However, a local gun maker can provide you with a copy of the Chinese imitation for about $300. This is known as the Dara copy. A Dara-made Glock will set buyers back by less than $350. What if one is interested in the AK-47 or Kalashnikov? This popular weapon of guerrillas worldwide will cost only between $70 and $250 when sourced from Dara. The real weapon could cost between $800 and $2,000. Interestingly, a kilo of goat kebabs for lunch for 4 people costs about $20 on the same street where people source weapons. One dealer boasted he could create a copy of anything, from Turkish Zigana pistols to American Beretta handguns to Chinese .30 caliber weaponry. Gun dealers also offer antique weaponry. A World War II era Sten submachine gun, for example, with all the markings intact, could be purchased for about $800. Parting with $50 more will the original leather strap bearing the military coat of arms. And if you are intent on an 1860 Enfield pistol, you might be in luck in Dara Adam Kell for only $950. You will get all the Hussar Cavalry Regiment markings. Behind the shops where guns are hung like meat in a butcher's shop are the dark and cramped workshops where workers wear masks to protect themselves from the dangerous gases produced when they forge and shape ammunition and rifles. They even offer a 1-year warranty for their deadly products, and you can get your orders fulfilled in just 7 days. It is not unusual to find local people with specialties in particular types of guns. One worker claimed he could make the AK-17 with his tools, but prefers the 12 caliber. The reason? The latter is easier to make and the demand is high. Some of these businesses are big and standardized enough to even have accountants. A popular media house spoke with one such employee of a supplier called NATO Power, who explained how the manufacturing in his firm works. Back when NATO forces occupied Afghanistan, he said the army used the best cartridges. The empties are gathered by scrap collectors in the thousands and shipped across the border to NATO Power. The company then reshaped, remolded, and resold for local use. These gun makers are proud of their manufacturing process. They boast they recycle the metal and steel they use to improve the quality and resistance. They use a tedious process that requires days of hard work to tamper and redesign rigid steel so it can absorb massive and repeated shocks when the guns are used. Locals living in the area often complain of the noise made by customers and sellers, suddenly firing guns as they are tested. There are no designated testing ranges. In addition, the waste from the shops has been found to pollute the area, but the lack of oversight makes it hard to regulate the manufacturing process. Traders are proud to share some of their success stories, with many boasting they made it from grass to grace, making and selling deadly weapons. One rags to riches story was a man who worked his way up from a daily wage gunsmith to employing 30 gunsmiths working at his ammunition stores. And the business has been passed down through generations in some families. One trader thanked his grandfather for having the foresight to set up a gun-making outfit in a small hut. The business has now grown to 4 shops in the market, providing employment to the family members.